Hey guys, I got two pieces as well. First one goes like this. So I come from a town where the people look brown, talk black, and act white. And a generation of education that taught me that all I ever need to get by is a C. And this town is a town of big shoes, but little steps. Of people who walk down the street to avoid the streetlight. Of people who don't know which side of the road they're really on. A displaced generation, the ones who never grew up in the land they come from because money speaks louder than words in this town. So it's a little bit of hypocrisy that there's no jobs. And those that are advertised only want to attract the eyes of those with a life that was full of experience. But when your life has been divided between playing football in the park and taking care of your nan, trust me, it's a very long wait outside that interview. Just long enough for you to view into you to experience the disguise of a proper person, living a proper life, who's always paid taxes. I've never been to jail. I've always stayed away from drugs, and I'm motivated. And as he sits down in the dragon's den of ink and men with suits and ties, way more expensive than his Primark laces, he suddenly thinks to his dear nan, a new family of three, and holds on to that chair for dear life as they fire the questions of commitment and make him jump through red hoops of shame because he needs this job to help offload the recent inheritance of a mortgage. But the boss man doesn't see that. He sees a check sheet of desirable characteristics. So I've been rejected from 32 jobs on the basis that stereotyping isn't a factor they type on a sheet. It's a factor hiding inside people's eyes, like a filter on a camera that warps what you see, and suddenly all black boys are gangsters, and all Muslim teens with beards walk around with baggy jeans because they're all carrying a bomb. Polish guys can only be builders. Indians are born to be doctors, not actors. And you see, you should never hire a white girl because she'll soon ask for maternity leave. This town is a collection of cut lives that are way beyond Band-Aids. The only thing that will keep this town alive is love. And there is so little of it to see under these sad sodium lamplights. It either shines bright like a torch in the public eye, a fairy tale marriage, a princess is born, but it's barely staying alive behind closed doors. And yet in this melting pot of colors and creeds, there's people on the street cutting at me if my girlfriend is white or my best friend is black and gay, but didn't the Black Eyed Peas once say you gotta have love to set us straight? And in a time of economic austerity, tell me, how much does it cost to love? People can't afford to say 3 words, but split unlimited 2 for 2. Man, why can't it be in this town that we forget all dress and means and take the person sitting next to you, opposite you, to be no more than a revolutionary potential yet unseen? Walk down the street, walk up to a complete stranger and say, hey, I don't know you, but I love you. Have a nice day. Bye. I've never done this one before on a stage. I wrote it in 2012 after the events that occurred in Delhi, in India, where a woman got on a bus going to see a movie and she didn't get off. How can I explain the full extent of the words, I'm sorry? If they could wrap your wounds in rosewater clouds, stitch together the memories with strings of faith, some sort of gentle whisper as we sleep to plead that not all men are like that. Jyoti, I've seen firsthand of the hell that women find in a country that labels itself God's own paradise. Friends who have been torn and victimized, and I'll leave details at that, but as a member of the opposite sex, I can only bow my head in shame and pray that we find it in us to forgive. Not to forgive as if it were a drop of inconvenient pain, but to forgive the misunderstanding and the, yeah, well, I don't know, it's debatable. Because a Western world cannot comprehend a land it has never seen. So it violently whispers under its neon hairdos to rally the world, a humanitarian crisis. How can I explain the full extent of the words, "I'm sorry." If they could wrap your wounds in rosewater clouds, stitch together the memories with strings of faith, some sort of gentle whisper as we sleep to plead that not all men are like that. Jyoti, I've seen firsthand of the hell that women find in a country that labels itself God's own paradise. Friends who have been torn and victimized, and I'll leave details at that, but as a member of the opposite sex, I can only bow my head in shame and pray that we find it in us to forgive. Not to forgive as if it were a drop of inconvenient pain, but to forgive the misunderstanding and the, yeah, well, I don't know, it's debatable. Because a Western world cannot comprehend a land it has never seen. So it violently whispers under its neon hairdos to rally the world, a humanitarian crisis, a country of illiterate rapists that apparently lurk in every corner, reading the crowd for their next meal. So as someone who was raised in India, let me validate this point with gravity. The boys born in the hot dust of poverty are forged in a certain way to live in a community where your religion restricts the carnal, where love is arranged and marriage is more of a financial transaction than one of a human connection. The desire to have something unexpected is a new high, a new drug. And under the unwritten law of the things you can't have because you're bored by the things you can, human nature entices the devil to dance. The taboo becomes so seductive, the acquisition is something they can't control, and in most cases, their choice of drug is a beautiful girl. To live on less than the Sky One prescribed plea. To fight with tooth and brain for your daily carbs. We're talking of a place where the rats don't race. They're just trying to survive. So your second nature is second nurture, your culture. And Indian culture is founded on respect of others. Trust male libido to scream, fuck that. I'm not defending the actions of those men. No part of a court or jury am I. I am here as the middleman in the middle of a wasted heart and scarred flesh of mind to mourn the extent of guilt that I feel to call myself Indian at this time. It's like a rusty knife has decided to linger somewhere between the choice of rage and shame. Somewhere between the need to explain and the infection to sit back and enjoy watching those four men as the lights leave their eyes. Jyoti, I'm glad you found beauty in our country, that you did at times feel free. I write this from London, in bed with tears, and fail to recall the taste of mango lassi, gripping my Debenhams duvet to defend myself from the possibility that I might one day have a daughter who might board a similar bus to you. And I fear in all life, there is never enough kind, soft words or beautiful pictures to bury trauma. Only the painful acceptance of reality, of the unbearable toll of this force called life that eventually evacuates our bodies. But as for the spirit, now that is eternal. So I will pray for that. Jyoti Singh Pandey. I will pray for that. Thank you.
Would you like to be at our next event? Visit dreamnation.co.uk and join our free mailing list in the top right-hand corner. You will receive exclusive content and free updates on future projects so that you'll never have to miss out again. Work hard and keep dreaming.